Hi, this is Rich Tehrani with TMC. Thanks for watching us today. We're in San Jose meeting with some of the best and brightest companies in the area. On our program is Bhavin Shah, the VP of Marketing and Business Development at Polaris Wireless. Bhavin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rich. Nice to be here. It's good to be back, actually.
Yeah, welcome back to the show, I should say. So what's new with your company?
Well, so Rich, last year when we were here, we were talking about Polaris Wireless, our ability to locate mobile devices with precision, indoor, outdoors, all environments, all interfaces. What we've been doing now is using the same technology, which we patented and invented, called wireless location signatures, in a variety of security-based applications. So our target audience now not only is wireless telecom operators, which we have been serving for a number of years, but also law enforcement and intelligence agencies. The idea being that law enforcement and intelligence agencies need to know where the criminals, terrorists, and bad guys are at any given time, right? And using our technology, because we don't touch the phone itself, so it could be any phone, dumb phone, smartphone, and because we don't put any hardware on networks, we're able to do that with great accuracy, great precision. Okay.
So are you able to do it across carrier networks as well?
We do it across carrier networks. We do it across all air interfaces, 2G, 3G, 4G. In a typical scenario, we have 14 deployments today spanning Middle East, Africa, and Asia. When we get deployed, we're deployed countrywide because you never know where the bad guy, the criminal, the terrorist may show up with what kind of phone. So when we get deployed, the law enforcement agency or the intelligence agency can locate the mobile device anywhere across any network, any time of day, with a single command center application, what we call our Altus platform.
Now, what do they need, phone number or something more detailed?
That's a good question. Actually, they can track the mobile device using 2 or 3 different parameters. One is the phone number itself. But short of not having the phone number, they can locate using the equipment ID or the SIM ID itself. The reason is bad guys have a tendency to either change out their phone or change out their SIM cards. And given that we can track using 3 different parameters, we can keep track of, if they change SIM cards, they change phone numbers, or if they change the phone itself.
So what happens to things like the disposable phones that are so easy to get a hold of and charge and use quickly and then throw out? I mean, it seems to me like that's a technology which makes it really difficult for your application.
Right. Now, that's a great question. It's a very common question that we get asked as we navigate through different law enforcement agencies who are our customers. It's very typical behavior for a bad guy to pick up a used phone or a cheap phone, use it, and then dump it in some form. Again, if we have one of those 3 parameters, we can keep track if they change identities. In some form or the other, they have to be able to communicate to their social network. When I mean social network, it's their associates, the other people who they're working with, what their new identity is. So we also take that information and cross-correlate that with their phone identity. That's one approach. The other thing we do using our Altus platform is we're able to keep track of the movement patterns of these bad guys based on their behavior and how their usage of their mobile device is. So if the movement pattern remains the same and their device changes, we're able to still hone in on where they are and who they are and if their mobile device is completely changed out.
So is that kind of like a big data sort of analytical application?
It is actually. So one of the advantages we bring to the market is we can do what we call accurate mass location, the ability to locate all devices in a given environment. What that generates is big data, as you rightly pointed out, and what sits on top of that are analytical engines that are constantly mining information. These are nuggets of information about bad guys, who they're meeting, where they are at any given time, why are they there, who else is there at the same time, and you can just build layers and layers of information. Another thing we do is we co-reference location with other types of inputs. For example, if Rich called Bhavin, where were Rich and Bhavin when they called each other? What did they say when they called each other? So we integrate with third-party systems that do what we call lawful intercept. And what do they look like? So if you have video surveillance systems, we can integrate with those too and kind of give you a holistic picture to the law enforcement person. Where are they? What did they say to each other? And what do they look like at any given time?
Now, you seem to be obviously really involved with great detail in this line of business. Are there other areas as well that you're seeing attention, interest, growth?
Absolutely. So we obviously have today, our base has always been the 24 deployments in the US for 911, so that's where we started in the public safety space. We're taking the 14 deployments overseas, because we have a total of 38 deployments globally. We're taking the same 911 model and trying to apply it to those other countries where they don't have 911-like infrastructure, right? Because then they can start a similar service for their own people. The other aspect is, given our application platform Altus, it could be easily repurposed given the geofencing capabilities for mobile marketing, right? So in the same countries, because we've deployed across all carriers in a given country, we can now start targeting or geo-targeting people with coupons, advertisements, and launch, family tracker type applications, right? So now you have 3 legs of the stool, as we call it: public safety, security and surveillance applications, and consumer LBS.
Is there any opportunity to analyze the open internet and actually look for suspicious behavior based upon the databases you have? And the reason I'm saying that is, I could be a hacker that gets a used laptop, or a bad guy, let's say, we'll use that word, that phrase, and I find an open access point, whether it's in a hotel or just a neighborhood, and I use that to make a Skype call. I'm just curious, is that something you're not dealing with right now, or an area of opportunity?
It's actually an area of opportunity, but there are systems out there. We don't make them today, but there are third-party systems out there that have those capabilities, and we have integrated those capabilities with those third-party systems so that from a customer point of view, they have a one-stop shop solution. It's like a holistic surveillance mechanism, so that even if the bad guy switches from the mobile device to like a laptop and is sending social media messages or whatever, with those third-party systems, we can integrate and provide the complete picture.
Fantastic. So what's next?
Well, the next big wave on the technology side is going to be, the ability to locate people in vertical domain, right? So we can now say, okay, in a 3 to 4 floor range, where people are. How that's going to help is not only on the public safety side, but also on the security application side. If the bad guys are hiding out in hotels, in skyscrapers, wherever they may be, law enforcement knows that. That's on the technology side. On the application side, again, going back to Altus, we call a module of Altus is going to become Altus Sense, the analytics. How do we keep mining more information? How do we learn the movement patterns of these criminals and predict where they're going to be at any given time, now or in the future? And who else are they recruiting? What are those new suspects looking like? So it's kind of taking the proactive approach to preventing crime and reducing terrorist activities.
Fantastic. Now, in terms of vertical, the height, determining what floor someone's on, typical GPS makes that difficult. Cell towers is not easy. Are you using Wi-Fi, or what technology are you using there?
So our technology is called WLS, wireless location signatures. We leverage not only cell tower. If Wi-Fi is available, we leverage that. We also leverage the infrastructure that operators are putting into these hotels and buildings, what we call distributed antenna systems. We can leverage femtocells, picocells, microcells. So we blend in different streams of information to further refine the vertical location.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here. This was great.
Thank you for having me over. Pleasure meeting you.